Hello, welcome along to our opposition preview, the show that brings you a lowdown on Saints' next opponents. And the Premier League's back after an international, boring, probably pointless international break. But once again, this Saturday, it's your proverbial six-pointer and four for both teams this weekend. Saints travel up to London Stadium to play West Ham United. And here to tell us exactly what is going on at West Ham is Dan from West Ham Fan TV. Mate, how are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I've had a nice little break from football over the past couple of weeks, a nice break from all the madness. So looking forward to, we're sort of looking forward and nervy about this weekend's game, mate.
Yeah, you said a little break and I've sucker punched you straight away to bring you right down again.
Yeah, I know. It's and obviously you've had less of a break because you guys were in the cup. So
and we will talk about that a bit later on. But one place for me to start. I mean, it's well documented. You know, fans in revolt, players losing their heads because of the antics off the pitch. I mean, what is going on at West Ham?
I think everything's just that boiling point has come, mate. It is that the fans have just had enough. And I mean, I've said this on a few different podcasts, is that a lot of outside fans and media think that it's because we haven't signed top players and we're not in the Europe and all of that. But it's not. It's just every day there's just something that comes out about our club. You know, you've just had Sullivan with the tax, you know, dodging thing, and he signed West Ham to avoid paying a certain amount of tax, and you know, all these promises and just a lack of attempts. It's not even a lack of achieving; it's a lack of attempt to achieve when we're looking in the transfer market and things like that. And when we just saw that Burnley game, when really we was on top for most of the game, but I just think it was when that goal went in, it was just everything came out, all the frustrations, and people just went. And it was, you saw what happened. It was really heartbreaking to watch. You know, I was in the stand and you're just watching it. You're seeing it all kicking off near the director's box, fans running on the pitch, and people, you know, rowing stewards and all sorts going on. You just think, what a mess. What is it? Where does this club come to? And I can't see where it goes from here. You know, and that's what you're thinking at the time. It was really tough to film after that. I just wanted to go home, and you know, you've got to sit there and talk and give your thoughts, and that was the hardest, one of the hardest times recorded.
Maybe you think the international break has given the boys an extra week of rest. I mean, you've also set out the week of the FA Cup. Maybe that week has served a bit of a respite, but I say rest as a loose term. You know, everyone's seen the photographs of lads away in Miami having a bit of a lads' holiday. I mean, do you think this might make them lose their focus? The team is under massive pressure at the moment.
Well, it's been reported that there's been a bit of division in the dressing room and between certain players and things like that. And this could all just be PR, and this is what I've said, is they have to show on the pitch that why they went to Miami and justify it, basically. And they've said basically it's helped the players grow closer together, reevaluate and refocus on what they need to do, and they've been training. So let's hope. But when I see Andy Carroll involved, then that makes me worry, because he likes to party and he is a bit of a bad influence. So I'm hoping they weren't just getting on it. Although we played a charity friendly against Dagenham Redbridge, which we went to last week. And apart from picking up an injury to James Collins, some of the players looked good. Antonio looked really good. So yeah, it's on the day. That's when we'll know whether that was a good or bad thing. And if we lose, that's going to come back to haunt them.
And actually, you know, you mentioned a couple of players there. I mean, you've got quite an extensive injury list at the moment as well. Your key player, Manuel Lanzini, has been sat out for the last few weeks. Is it Ogbonna also picked up an injury recently?
Yeah, I think Ogbonna had an illness thing. Ogbonna should be back, as far as I know. Lanzini was fit and apparently had got injured with Argentina. Obviously, he scored for Argentina. I don't know if it was during that game or in training, he picked up an injury, which, I mean, his injury record is getting a bit ridiculous now, to be honest. You know, it's starting to get up there close to Carroll's, and it just seems like I don't know if he's ever completed a full season for us. Maybe his first season, and he'll get injured, come back, get injured, come back. So it's not like one injury per season. It's multiple injuries. So it's getting a bit frustrating, to be honest.
And, you know, I've seen some reports this week as well, actually. You know, you mentioned a bit of a division in the dressing room. Mark Noble's come out to the press this week, urging the fans to support the team? I mean, there's a few things, maybe restricting the team at the moment. A couple of injuries, maybe that is the problem. But are there any bright sparks on the pitch? I mean, Arnautovic seems like your danger man at the moment, and perhaps he might have another point to prove to Mark Hughes.
Definitely, and I think, against Stoke, we really saw him step up against Stoke. And when he come off, he did have that little spat, where it was more Mark Hughes towards Arnautovic, because he weren't happy with his celebration. So maybe that will G him up again. But he works his ass. Since Moyes has come in, he's worked. Even when he's not scoring, he doesn't get any goals or assists, he's still running all over and up and down the pitch and works hard, and which is what we really need. So he's definitely going to be the guy we're looking at to be that like I said, that bright spark. And Mark Noble's comments, it's stuff the club tell him to say. I mean, you look at that, it's like we've never not supported the team. For that Burnley game, we were behind the team all the way up until that first goal went in. Now, after the first goal, the game was still on, so a lot of fans should have still, kept singing. But after that fan run on the pitch, it was just a distraction. Everyone was just forgetting about the game at that point, and the players' heads had dropped. But stuff like that, it does rub you up the wrong way, because you think, well, look, we've been supporting this team all season, and we're still in this position. So just do your job, and we'll do our job.
It is a two-way street, and on the pitch recently hasn't been that great. And maybe it seems like the new manager bounce has faded. I mean, was there even a bounce to begin with?
He came in. I think obviously we got smashed in our first game against Everton. I think that was his first game with us, and there was the first few where we'd lost, and then we got a little bounce through to the Christmas period. But I mean, he's made the team a lot fitter. He's sort of sacrificed the cup games. But I think he's been playing quite a lot of negative tactics and we've got some real good attacking players. So, we're sitting deep quite a lot with like Hernandez when he plays. Also, as well, dropping him to the bench when he was on form. I'm really undecided about Moyes, but it's looking more and more like he's just a short-term measure. If we do stay up, it's just a move on from there.
And you've slipped down the table. Sort of. We've been saying it on a few of our interviews that we've sort of sleptwalked into a relegation fight, and last 3 games you've lost by 3 goals, and pretty comprehensively on those occasions. Well, I mean, of course, if we win on Saturday, we leapfrog you. You drop into the bottom 3. Is that when meltdown mode is fully underway? Is it confirmed that? I mean, what's next for Hammers after that then?
I've been saying this, I generally think whoever loses that game is very likely to go down. And that's what I think is we have Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City and Man United still to play. That's not including, obviously, Stoke is another big game, but you've got Everton are coming to us, who are in a much better position to us. We've got to go to Leicester, which is a tough place to go. So we're really looking at Southampton and Stoke. If we can just win those, that should be enough, and maybe get a point here and there. But I just think if we lose that, it is going to really kick off. I mean, they've got a lot more security measures in place, but I think it could turn ugly if we do start going a goal or 2 down in that game, and if we lose it, because I can't see how we get back from that, to be honest with you.
It is a very hostile situation. I mean, if you were manager before the start of the match, what would you say to the boys? What would you do to G them up and try and forget about the antics off the pitch?
I'd tell him, like, listen, just go out there and play for that badge and play for those fans. Forget all the nonsense, forget the board, forget all the antics. And if you don't play for that, play for the pride as a professional. Just go out there and just work your arse off for 90 minutes of that game. Don't stop running and leave it all on the pitch, because this is our survival on the line. To me, this is without a doubt our biggest game of the season today. It is massive. We've got to treat it as a cup final. It's so big, and it's probably the same for you guys.
Absolutely. I mean, you've touched upon it just a moment ago. I mean, whoever loses this match is finds himself in a very difficult position. But what is your prediction then for Saturday?
This is such a tough one. It's because the thing is with Southampton, to me, it's one of our hardest games to predict, because it can always go to either way. It's never like, as far as I haven't got the stats in front of me, but it's never like we've got like loads of wins against you or you've got loads of wins against us. It seems to be when the season it's a very even. So I'm just going to go with the good old traditional 2-1, as they say, the good old safe prediction 2-1. Yeah, I mean, you guys have seemed to be getting a bit of a bounce yourselves. Obviously, you've won one game, isn't it? So it's a tough one. And Austin is rumoured to be fit, isn't it?
He is in contention, and of course he scored against West Ham last time.
Yeah, so I could see him getting a goal. So yeah, I'm gonna say 2-1 and be hopeful.
And that would probably douse a few fires at London Stadium. But yeah, remember to go ahead and check out West Ham Fan TV for your West Ham reaction after the match. Hopefully we'll find some time after the game to catch up. Big thanks, Dan, for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And apart from this game, I hope you guys stay up as long as it's not at our expense. I do hope you guys stay up because I like Southampton as an away day. I mean, I like your ground. So yeah, fingers crossed we can both do it.
It'll be very close, mate. Probably go down to the final weekend. But big thanks for also joining us for this episode of The Opposition View. Don't forget to leave your predictions in below for our trip to the London Stadium.